I'm Helen and welcome to my channel. Today's class will be a class for the Manipura Chakra, the solar plexus chakra, so it'll be a bit fiery with some core work. If you enjoy this class, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to my channel. If you're interested in the chakras and want to know a bit more, underneath this video there is a link to a free guide that I prepared, a 21-page guide for how to balance your chakras. There's some information in it about whether you're excessive or deficient or balanced, and also some practices that you can do to help harmonize your chakras. We'll start today in a seated position. So come to Sukhasana, easy seat. Manually rotate the thighs outwards. Sit on the sit bones. If this is really tough for you, you can sit up on a blanket or a bolster or a cushion. I wouldn't recommend a block for this first bit because it's a bit difficult if you're on a block. If you're on something soft, it's okay. So we'll start with stirring the pot. So this chakra is all about this area here. So lengthen out the spine, and on an inhale, you're going to come forward in the seat and then just rock round to the left, rounding the spine to the back, coming over to the right and forward. So we're going to do 5 of these in each direction. Really feel the movement coming from the pelvis. So you're moving from the pelvis here, round in the back as you go, coming forward, out of the waist, over to the left, back, forward. I'm sitting on this creaky floorboard, so that's the floorboards, not my bones. And then we'll go the other way. So round in the spine backwards. Really feeling this movement from the waist and the hips. Just waking up the spine. Using the breath. Stirring up the fires deep in the belly. Bring in some energy, some prana there. And then come to the back. And then change the cross of the legs. And we'll do this again. So when you change across the legs, maybe a different story is for me. So on an inhale, coming forward. This time I'm coming round to the right. Rocking backwards. Coming forwards again. You can use the hands on the knees, just to help pull you through. Not worrying about how far forward you come. All depends on how open your hips are. Just waking up this area in the lower spine and then going the other way. Using the breath. I find this is a great way to warm up and open up your hips at the start of class. And then come to the center and come back up. So on an inhale, arms come up to the sky. As you exhale, rotate from the waist over to the left. So the left hand comes behind you like a kickstand, the right hand on the outside of the left knee. Lengthen out the waist and then rotate. So the twist comes from the mid to upper back. The lower back doesn't twist. Breathe here. So twists are great for this chakra. They really stimulate all of our digestive organs, the digestive system. And then inhale up, and exhale over to the other side, remembering and lengthening on the inhale and rotating on the exhale. Then inhale up, and then plant the left hand down outside the left hip. Inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, just tip over to the left. Really keep that right hip grounded. Lengthening out this right arm. Keeping both sides of the waist as long as you can. Grounding into that right sit bone. Just feeling the stretch in the side body. And inhale back up and then over to the other side. Ground in the left hip. Keeping the body on a side plane, so you're not leaning forwards or leaning back, just to the side. Feeling the stretch here. Then inhale, come up. Then we'll come over the knees and come into tabletop. So a little bit of core work here. Hands are directly underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Keeping a neutral spine. On an inhale, the left leg comes straight back behind and the right arm in front. So we'll work through a few rounds of spinal balance. So this is inhale, lifting. Exhale, round knee to elbow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. When the leg goes back, try and imagine you're just pushing it back rather than lifting it up. That helps keep the spine neutral. One more of these. And then release, second side. Right hand underneath the right shoulder. Inhale the left arm up, right leg goes back. And then exhale, round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, round. Really try and keep both hips neutral. Engage in the core. One more. And then exhale. Release. Plant the hands about one handprint in front. We'll come up, downward facing dog. So sit bones to the sky. Hands around shoulder width, whatever feels good for you. Feet hip distance apart. Externally rotate the upper arm bones. Sit bones to the sky. You can bend the knees. Ears between the elbows. And just lengthen the spine here. Deep breathing. Core is engaged. Maybe pedal out the feet a bit just to wake up the hamstrings. And then settle. And then really engage in the core here. We're going to rock forward to plank. Hold for 5 breaths. So plank is a great core strengthener. And the core isn't just the front body, it's also this whole area just all around our midriff, including the back. Keep the legs engaged. Then inhale back up. And then inhale, come forward to plank. Really protect the shoulder blades, engage the core, and then the right knee comes in to the chest and hold for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release. Left leg in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back. One more time. 1. Right leg comes in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last side. You can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Release down and just bring the knees down and release the wrists. Just roll them out. So I'm already sweating. Core work is very sweaty, but it really helps strengthen all of our yoga poses. particularly when you start progressing to arm balances. Core is really the key to everything. And we'll come back up, downward facing dog. And we'll move into Vashisthasana, side plank. So rolling forward to plank. Rotate the heels to the left. The left hand is directly underneath the left shoulder. Right arm releases to the sky. Now I've got my feet staggered here. You can bring one foot here to give you a little bit more support, or you can stack the feet for 5 breaths here. So really pushing up with those left obliques. So the hips are moving up towards the sky. Arms are straight and strong. Engage that whole core, including the legs. I think that's about 5 breaths. Hand comes down. We'll come straight over onto the other side. So remember the different variations you can do. 5 breaths here. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Exhale the hand down. Rock forward to plank. Take a chaturanga or knees, chest and chin. Upward facing dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Take a free breath. Then inhale, left leg lifts to the sky. Exhale, left foot steps up between the hands. Back foot punts 45 degrees, heel to heel. Warrior one. So pelvis is facing forward. Back foot is at a 45-degree angle and arms come up to the sky. Bending into that front leg, back leg straight and strong. You can really feel it down the back half. 5 breaths here. So we've probably already been here for about 3. So 2 more deep breaths. And then palms come to the chest and we'll open into warrior 2. So knee over front ankle, heel to arch alignment, shoulders stacked over hips, bending into this front leg, 5 breaths. So these warrior poses are really exhilarating. They're very strong, powerful poses, just like the Manipura Chakra. It's all about our personal power, our will, our mastery, our discipline, our motivation. And when we feel really strong in the body, we feel strong in the mind, and it powers us on to achieve anything that we want to achieve. And then flip the front palm. We come into reverse warrior. So make sure that front knee stays bent. When we don't see a limb, we tend to get lazy in it. So front knee remains bent. Back hand is on the back leg, reaching out of the waist. Great stretch down the side body. Then inhale, come up. Rotate onto the back toe. So you're in a high lunge. We're moving to warrior 3. So palms come to the chest. Really ground into this front heel. Activate that core, and on an inhale, come up, warrior 3. So hips are facing downwards, back leg is bone straight, body is like a seesaw, palms can come to the chest, 5 breaths here. Get a fixed gazing point on the floor, use your root lock. This really helps strengthen you, so it's activating the perineum. And then gently release back to high lunge. Exhale, plant the hands. Step back, plank. Move through vinyasa. The one of your choice. You can always just go back to downward facing dog. That option is always there. And we'll all meet in downward dog. Take a free breath. We'll do that on the other side. So inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, right foot steps up. Warrior one, heel to heel alignment. Hips facing as forward as they can. Arms come up, front ribs are engaged. 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then palms come down and we open into warrior two. So I'm going to get off this wonky floorboard. Heel to arch alignment, arms out to a T. Try and keep these hips neutral. Bending into this front knee, scooping this right hip under. Arms on a shelf, gazing point, middle finger of the front hand. 5 breaths here. So the element of the Manipura Chakra is fire. You're probably feeling quite fired up now. I know I am. I'm dripping in sweat. Core is very heating. But it's good to stoke our fires. Feel that tapas, that internal heat. Really spurs us on, motivates us. And then flip the front palm and we'll come into reverse warrior. 5 breaths here. So these are really strengthening poses for the legs and for the mind as well. Our yoga practice is a discipline, and discipline is really at the core of the Manipura Chakra. Then inhale, come up, rotate onto that back foot for high lunge. Palms come to the chest, and we're going to come in to warrior three, a balance. So really spread that front foot, ground into the heel, all 4 corners of the foot, and we'll come up. Hips are neutral, back leg straight and strong, body like a seesaw. 5 breaths. So Manipura means lustrous gem, and the color is yellow. Imagine you've got this yellow, fiery ball of energy in your core, glistening gem. And then release back to high lunge. Take a vinyasa or dog, whatever feels good for you. It's your practice. But when we move through these vinyasas and we attempt them, it helps build our strength, our personal power, our will. Sometimes we don't do them because we think we can't, but I always think it's good to just try. You can really surprise yourself sometimes. Inhale, left leg lifts to the sky. Exhale, left foot steps up, come up. Warrior two, briefly. This time we'll come into side angle pose. So bring this left arm on top of the left thigh. Sweep the top arm down, up and around. And reach out of the waist. Now, if it's within your reach, you can have this left arm with the hand on the floor, or you can stay here. The higher you are, the more you are able to open your upper body to the sky. Imagine a long line of energy from that back foot all the way to the tips of the fingers. And these top fingers are the gazing point. Keeping that chest open. Igniting that core. And from here we'll move into half moon. So top hand comes to the right hip. Look down. Step forward. You can use a block here if you need one. Hand comes 6 to 12 inches outside the front foot. Whoops. Really ground down and strengthen this left leg. Stack the hips. Release the top arm to the sky. Top leg is straight and strong. Core is engaged. Root lock is on. Breathe here. And then bending into the front leg, gently release back gracefully to warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down. Vinyasa or straight to downward dog. Upward facing dog, wiping the slate clean over the toes, downward dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky. Exhale, right foot steps up between the hands. Come up to a brief warrior two, get the base, heel to arch alignment, and then the right arm comes on the right thigh, left arm sweeps down, up and around, side angle. Remember, you can always bring this hand to the floor or to a block, whatever feels good for you. Looking at that top palm, reaching out of the waist, chest upwards towards the sky. Back edge, your back foot is grounded. Inner leg of the back leg is nice and active. And then bring the top hand to the top hip. Move into half moon on this side. I'll move back a bit. Hand comes 6 to 12 inches in front of that front foot. Make sure it's over to the side, otherwise you'll fall over. Stacking the hips, stacking the shoulders. Breathe. So really engaging root lock here. Back leg is engaged and strong. Standing leg is engaged. Core is on. Shoulders are stacked. Breath is steady, gaze is steady. Really feel your lustrous gem glistening in the center of your core. And then gracefully step back, warrior two. Cartwheel the hands down. Go for a vinyasa. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Look to the hands, bend the knees. We're going to jump through to seated. So get there any way you can. And we'll come into boat pose. So boat is a great core strengthener. And we'll move through some different variations of boat. So sit high on the sit bones. Just have your hands behind the thighs. Lean back slightly. So you want to be reaching out of the waist here. Roll onto the sit bones and bring the legs parallel to the floor. So really make sure you've got your core on. Now this might be your position, holding on. Maybe you can release the hands. Breathe here. Maybe lift the right leg. Release. Maybe lift the left. Release. Maybe lift both. And then release. And just hold onto the knees around the back. Take a breath. And then we'll move from high boat to low boat. So this is quite a strong movement. Do whatever you can do. So you may want to keep your legs bent. You may want to straighten them. And as you exhale, you're going to release down. So make sure your body is like in this canoe shape. So you're really activating the whole of the front body here. Then inhale, come up. Exhale down. Inhale, come up, down, up, down, up. I've lost count. Down. We'll do one more. Up, down, and then hold here. 5 deep breaths. And then come up and release. And just round and breathe. So with core, you just have to keep working at it. Obviously, the more you do it, the stronger you get. You really see advancements in your core strength quite quickly. And then we'll come over the legs and come on to our bellies. So like I said at the start of class, core does involve the back body as well. So all this area here, and actually the sort of the glutes and the tops of the thighs to some extent. So we just work on a little bit of back strength with locust pose. So from here, bring the hands next to the hips, forehead comes down. I'm just going to lift my head so my microphone doesn't get muffled. Backs of the hands are on the floor, legs are zipped together. Engage that root lock. Pubic bone is pressed into the floor, core is engaged, and on an inhale, lift the legs and the upper body up for locust. 5 breaths here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then release down and just bring the left cheek down to the floor. Just release everything and melt down. And then forehead comes back to center. We'll do another locust. So on an inhale, lift everything up, grounding that pubic bone, engage in the core. Gazing point is just ahead of the mat. Backs of the legs are engaged, backs of the arms. Really feeling the strength of the whole of the back body. And then release down and put your right cheek down. And then one more time. Inhale, everything lifts. Maybe you can get a little bit higher. And then release, bring the hands underneath the forehead stacked. Forehead to the hands. And just surrender here for a moment. Just release in the back. Reconnecting with the breath. And then slowly push back to a child's pose. Seat to heels. Feel the elongation in the spine. Shoulders away from the ears. Belly between the thighs. Enjoy this brief moment. And then we'll come up to seated. So move into a seated twist. Half Lord of the Fishes pose. This is great for the core. So there's a couple of variations here depending on the flexibility of your hips. So I'm going to mirror you here. So bring the right leg into the chest as close as you can and then cross it over the left thigh. So really planting this right foot, the sole into the mat. So this might be your position. If you're quite flexible in the hips, you may be able to fold this other knee back. making sure both sit bones are on the floor. Release the right hand behind you, the left arm to the sky, and as you exhale, rotate over towards the right, hooking the left arm outside this right thigh, lengthening the waist, and looking over the right shoulder. Breathe in here. So the solar plexus is in the sort of middle abdomen area. It is made up of around 100 million neurons, and it's the largest concentration of neurons outside of the brain. It's almost like a second brain, and you must have heard the sort of phrases gut instinct, trusting your gut. You can feel it in your gut, you can feel butterflies there. That's all the solar plexus. Inhale, look forward. Slowly unwind, and we'll do the other side. So whatever leg position you had on the first side, do the same on the second. So this time crossing the left leg over, the right leg hooks behind, lengthen out of the waist, left arm behind, right arm to the sky, and twist. So yeah, we really feel things in our gut. And the gut and the brain, or the solar plexus and the brain, work in unison with each other. So quite often when we feel upset in the mind, we can feel it in the gut as well, and vice versa. They're really interconnected. I always try to trust my gut instinct. Sometimes the first reaction you have to a situation is your sort of sixth sense talking to you. I'm a firm believer of trusting your gut. And inhale, come back forward. Release the legs and just rotate them in the hip joint, shake them out. We'll move into Shavasana, so just releasing down. We're going to activate the core one more time. Come down very slowly in slow motion. And then once you get down, just allow everything to flop open. Palms to the sky, feet flopped out. Back of the neck is long with the chin tucked, shoulders tucked down the back. And just surrender here, let go of any controlled breathing you've been doing. If you're like me, you've built up a bit of a sweat. Work the muscles a bit today in the core. Just melt and release everything into the earth. So the power animal of the third chakra is the ram, symbolizing assertiveness, endurance, and indomitable energy. This strong animal charges head first, battering obstacles out of the way. A bit tough on both the psyche of the one pounding objects out of the way, and the objects or people getting pounded. The ram reflects the nature of a third chakra person who is dominated by competitive ambition in his or her striving for recognition, immortality, and power. The sacred animal of Agni, the Hindu god of fire, the ram is also the astrological symbol of Aries, ruled by Mars, the fiery planet of violence, rashness, impulsiveness, and vivid passions. Yet Aries also embodies the power of the life force within, the vegetation that bursts through the earth in the spring. You just start to come back into the body, wiggling the fingers and toes. Maybe stretching the arms overhead with the fingers interlaced. Feet stretching in the opposite direction. Then bring the knees in one by one into the chest. Give yourself a little squeeze, tight hug. And then when you're ready, just roll over onto one side. Pause for a moment in the fetal position. And keeping the eyes closed, push yourself up to a seated position. Just allow the palms to rest face upwards, either in the lap or on the knees. This really is a symbol of uplifting and receiving. This chakra is all about moving forward in life. When we want to move forward, it's important to be open to receive any guidance that is coming our way and be open-minded. Let's inhale, deep exhale, and then bring the palms together at the heart center. Raise them up to the third eye. Bring them to the lips. And then bring the hands down to the belly. Just place your palms on your belly, feeling the life force inside of you. This is where you hold all of your personal power. You are the owner of your own life, and you have the power to move in whichever direction you want to. Life is all about choices. And when we choose to take action, that's when we really start to flourish. And bring the palms back to the chest, thumbs on the sternum. Thank you for practicing with me today in this solar plexus class, the Manipura Chakra. I hope to see you again soon. Thank you. So if you like that class, it was just a small taster of the solar plexus chakra. There's so much of these chakras, it's really hard to cram it all into one class. I'm about to launch a chakra class, a deep dive into the chakras. If you're interested in being the first to hear about it, please click the link below this video where you can pre-register. I'm really excited. It's going to be some yoga, meditation, some breath work and some journaling as well. A real deep dive into the chakras, which is such a great framework for us to understand who we really are and what changes we can make to be the best versions of ourselves. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Thank you.